Welcome to the Easy Project with my boy Eddie and obviously myself, Zebby. We've got a good guest today. Former Wallaby.
Hey.
Yeah, bro.
This is a different one too. It's a good one for us.
Saia Fainga'a. How are you, brother?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. And yeah, looking forward to the show.
Man,
Let's
looking forward
go,
to the
man.
chats, man.
Hey, usually when our guests come through, we kind of give them their flowers. So
Flowers.
Yeah.
flowers, mate.
Good
So
flowers, bro. We like to pump you up, man. Come on, bro.
let's
I
go.
was nearly going to say, you don't need to give me flowers. I'll give myself. But all good.
Wait, you gave it to me anyway, so I'm going to read them out. So everyone knows, hey, listen up. So Saia Fainga'a, a rugby player for the Australian Wallabies, was born in Queanbeyan, New South Wales, and hails from Tongan and Aboriginal heritage. He has left a lasting impact on the rugby world with 46 test caps earned between 2010 and 2014. Saia showcased his progress as a hooker and demonstrated exceptional leadership qualities, notably during the 2011 Rugby World Cup. His contributions were instrumental in the Queensland Reds' triumph in the 2011 Super Rugby competition, and he also guided Australia's under-19 team to a World Championship victory. Let's come together to honour Saia Fainga'a, a shining star of the Wallabies, who continues to inspire through his commitment to both sports and community service. Join us here in cheering him on and supporting his chosen charity, National Breast Cancer, or at CBE 2024, where he leverages his platform to uplift others and epitomise the true essence of giving back. Save the date for November the 30th, 2024. But we'd like to welcome our guest, Saia Fainga'a.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
That's,
So
Hey,
good,
really
bro.
see.
really appreciate it. Yeah.
What I love about those flowers is that, like, you know, even though like your career is done and you're always so active within our community, you're also doing these charity events. So, man, can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So my grandmother had cancer 5 times, breast cancer 3 times,
Wow.
and beat it 4 times.
Wow.
So, you know, like, why am I wearing pink? It's obviously the only shirt that I had in the back of the car. No. But also, you know, I want to make sure that the reason how we started it is because when men or children or your son or your auntie say about, have you got a lump on your breast? And I remember my grandfather going, "You'll be right."
Yeah.
And my grandmother wasn't all right. And she did have to go get a vasectomy, and she did have to, get both her boobs removed. And for me, it was, that was challenging. Challenging to see my grandmother going to hospital, challenging to see that experience, because my whole family and all of us boys were in a mode where all we cared about was rugby, sport, school, and to make money. But we didn't think about my grandmother, who she gave us donations to go do drum lessons, singing lessons, all these things that, I suppose we took for granted.
Yeah.
And, we were never a well-off family. We were always, struggled in that space. And to see that the strongest person in my life go, cancer, I'm going to die, like, I look at my mum now, and my mum was like, do we put our grandmother, does she put her mum in a hospice or a home to pass away, or does she stay at home?
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a question. My mum was like, she's dying at home with us, with family.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's why we're so strong, and that's why we have 5 boys, or, our family are so resilient, because I was like, holy shit, how cool is that? Like, my mum is not letting my grandmother pass away in someone else's house, in someone else's care. My brother was there, Vili was there, saying, holding her hand while she passed away. Like, isn't that the best act you could do for your family?
Yeah,
100%.
And I think about all the accolades, all the things that I've done, doesn't mean anything compared to the family values that you have. And I suppose that's probably why, coming into the business that we have, myself and my twin brother, when we finished our rugby career, Anthony had so many head knocks. I needed to help him. We've lost a lot. We've been through a lot of things, but we generally just want to help people.
Yeah.
that's cool.
And we are helping people. But what do you do after 18 years of playing professional rugby?
I know.
You know what I mean?
Man,
Like, what do you do?
That's where we started.
But man, that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Like you know, me and Eddie have been through it. We give so much of the game, and then like once the game's done, you just go, shit, what's next? You know, and it does get tough, and that's why we talk. That's why we started this podcast. Give the platform to everyone to come on here and speak about their journey and what they're getting up to, and it is quite sad when you hear about the sad stories, but it is also encouraging when you hear about the good ones. So everyone's got a different journey, I guess, and you know, we're so fixated on being perfect ourselves, like being professional athletes, but we take a lot of stuff for granted. And like you said about your grandmother, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but like at the end of the day, it's a tough road. Like once you're at the highest, playing at the pinnacle, then you know, trying to transition. Yeah.
My biggest thing was I didn't know what to do for myself.
Yeah.
Like I was like, well, who's booked my airfares? Who's booked my travel? Where am I going to go? Who's packed my bags? Like I know my food schedule because, you know, the team manager sorted out. For my whole life, I've had everything scheduled.
Yeah.
From 7 o'clock in the morning to, you know, 6 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And then all the stuff that we did on the outside, it was all so scheduled.
Yeah.
And then I think about removing all of that. I had no schedule, I had nothing, literally, but people still want to hang out, people wanted to do all these things. But how do I make that money? And how do I, like for me, it was like, how do we generate wealth? Because I don't have rugby anymore.
Yeah.
I knew, like, I don't know how to paint a wall. I'm 30 years later, too long, because I'm not a carpenter when I was 17.
Yeah.
I become a professional athlete.
Yeah.
So who wants to be a plumber at 38 years old or 35 years old?
Tough, eh? It's a
that's
tough
tough,
question,
eh?
eh?
You know what I mean?
I can't believe. Remember back in the day when you're like you're almost coming towards the back end, and you're like you're sort of like in your late 20s, and then people are saying, "Oh, why don't you go to a trade?" Like, are you serious? Like, seriously, man, that time's done. That time's gone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know many adult apprentices out there that are just starting.
Especially with families.
Yeah, especially with
tough.
family.
Yeah.
How tough is that? Unless you got like somewhere to go to and stay for free, and like they can take on your family, and then you know you tough it out for 4 years, because that's how long it takes to get a a trade.
But that's true though.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to make another sacrifice. What about the lifestyle you've lived?
Yeah.
100%.
You didn't live off a $60,000 paycheck. Like,
No way.
when you're a professional athlete, you live off a good paycheck. You don't worry about fuel. You don't worry about where we're going for dinner. You don't worry about splitting the bill because you have an income.
Yeah.
And I always think about that now because I'm like, fuck, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I never, ever felt the consequences until I finished rugby going, how do I make bread without playing rugby?
Yeah. Do you know when we're going back to when you were younger, was rugby like something that, because you're a family of 5, is that right?
5 boys, 1
5
girl.
boys, 1 girl, so 6. And were you always chasing the rugby dream at the time when you guys were younger?
We didn't have a choice.
Yeah. Okay.
That was our only purpose.
Yeah.
So my mum and dad made us play rugby.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like we didn't have education. It was irrelevant.
Yeah.
And we were so blessed that I suppose I went into rugby instead of rugby league.
Yeah.
And not in a disrespectful way, in a way that, why is George Gregan having all these coffee shops? Why did all these business people, why did they have so much money outside of rugby?
Yeah.
And I was always like, why are they studying? Why are they doing education? Why is that such a... Because when I was 17 years old, we played for the under-19 for Australia, got named captain. The Brumbies called me up and said, hey, so we're going to offer you a contract.
Yeah.
Okay, great. It was 28,000 or something like 28,000, 30,000. And I got paid more than my dad.
Yeah.
And I thought I was fucking rich.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a Lamborghini. I'm buying a Lamborghini. And I thought that was the pinnacle.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, like money, like it only comes and goes. Like my dad was like, okay, well, how much do you spend a week? So we got all the fuel tax, we got it, whatever we had to spend.
Yeah.
My dad took the rest of the money.
Yeah.
He goes, here's $200. He's a levy.
Yeah.
And we never ever had more money that we needed.
Yeah.
So you can't spend things that you can't have.
Yeah.
So then me and Anthony implement that in our day-to-day life.
Yeah.
So we lived together until we were like 28 years old.
Yeah. Cool.
Because we were like, well, firstly, like it was like a divorce.
Yeah.
I had to walk upstairs and say, Anthony, you know, I'm about to have a baby.
Yeah.
Do you mind? I've got to leave the house. It's pretty awkward, but but we were all about saving and sacrificing and making sure that if we only had $300 in our account, because we're paying all these mortgages off, we're paying builders, we're doing developments, we're doing all the stuff outside of rugby, money, we can't see it. So without money, like, you can't spend it, can you?
Yeah,
so,
100%.
I don't know, like we were always big in and around making sure that all the money we had, if it wasn't going to a purpose, then what are we going to use it for?
Yeah,
Bro, that's awesome, bro.
That's awesome.
Because,
like
man, like for that, that's something that a lot of kids probably misunderstand. Because, like, you know, obviously playing rugby league or whatever professional sport, you end up spending more than what you're supposed to be spending. Do you know what I mean? Hey, like, instead of going to a coffee shop, have coffees and a feed, you can make your own sandwich. You know what I mean? And save the money,
like,
you know?
And I suppose I'll say it to you both, like, when you started hanging out with the boys, going to get a coffee, which my only luxury in life was always eating at restaurants or food. Like that was like my two things.
Yeah.
I'd never bought cars, and the other thing was my house.
Yeah.
My house is my kingdom.
Yeah, yeah.
So they were the only two things that we had, like, you know, so food and our house.
Yeah.
And that was the same with my twin brother. So we were like, what is everything else going to cost?
Yeah.
So when you first started with your teams and you started getting your paychecks, how much did you spend on coffees, hanging out with the boys, like going to gold class instead of just going to the movie? You know what I mean? Like,
Hard, bro.
is
That's so
that,
true. It is, bro.
We're like
Is that
proper-
true?
I'm looking back on...
We're probably like looking back and goes, well, we did live it up, eh?
Yeah, like, but you think about it, like,
Life was so easy back then.
I think about going to gold class and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not going to go to that.
Yeah.
But I've already paid the ticket. And I'm like, in my head now, I'm like, what am I thinking? And I suppose, like, to kind of go back to move forward is that we didn't have the money to do that. And we were lucky enough to get a scholarship to go to St. Edmunds College. And this school provided us with, you know, doing a tie, wearing black shoes, you know. I always say this to every year, well, most years we try and go back and say hello to the first 15 boys and let them know, like, our experience of St. Edmunds College.
Yeah.
And no one in my family knew how to do a tie. And so my first day of school, my remembrance is my mum driving me and my twin brother, going to the office and going, hey, can you please do the twins' ties up?
Yeah.
Because we couldn't, we didn't know how to do a tie up.
Yeah.
You know, and I look at it now and I go, like, obviously, you know, it's pretty powerful, but I know that we're not the only family doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
So how do we make sure that that's not the uncomfortable? Because I was so embarrassed. And I don't know how my mum felt. I don't know how my dad felt. Don't know how anyone felt. But, like, we still had to go to school.
Yeah.
You know, and we still had to do our tie. And then we had a year 11 kid, year 12 kid help us out.
Yeah, yeah.
True.
But only because we're good rugby players.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You know, like, I just feel now, like, I'm like, I was so blessed that I had the opportunity to go to a private school. I didn't care about education.
Yeah.
Now I do.
Yeah.
But you know, like, it was a sacrifice. Like,
Yeah.
my mum made so many my mum and dad made so many sacrifices. Like, my mum is our fucking beast mode.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. That's mad.
without anything, she doesn't care. Like, even if we're in the wrong, she still has our back.
Yeah.
And I always feel like, you know, some of the things that we do are absolutely batshit crazy, but we wouldn't be in the situation that we are in now, and have the support and the generosity of you guys even wanting to interview or just in general. Like, I feel Polynesians in general, Indigenous, whatever, have a story and a journey.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure that people understand that as well.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I don't know, like I just, our business has, just to digress, like our business started on that of literally having nothing, going literally from rags to riches really quickly, but also having the support of people to build us up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, we have an ecosystem where I have a black ecosystem. Like, people will go, well, you know, you're getting handouts from Indigenous, from taxpayers, all this. Hang on here. I only use 95% of our business. We only use Indigenous businesses. So PPE, you know, all of our sanitary supplies, we try and only to use Indigenous businesses. Why? Because we get certain grants from the government to help us and support us. So we want to support them.
Yeah.
We're not taking handouts just to take it out. And I think that we've always had a big following because we give back just as much as we take.
Yeah, 100%.
And, you know, I suppose with rugby, and like you guys would know, is that you only get back is what you give to people.
100%.
I feel like
I agree.
you know how you just dived into like that business side of things, and obviously the Indigenous or like grant side of things. You know, like, bro, not many people can do it though. Like, you look at yourself, you and your brother. You guys were like, you know, you guys were proper Wallabies. You spent so long at the top, you know, carving out great test careers. Like, you know, people should be ashamed if they're questioning what you're doing, you know. But you've got the Indigenous background. You've got proof in the pudding that you're giving back to people. I find that they shouldn't be questioning, you know, because like, you know, if you've got the platform and you can leverage, that's what we're about. Like, not many people can leverage off their careers, and like you've done, that's what you're doing. You and your brother, you're leveraging off, like, you know, the platform that you've created. And now you're trying to give back to, you know, your people in general. So, man, I reckon just be proud, man, that like what you've started, and just keep going with it, bro. Like 100%. At the end of the day, you've built something successful. I wouldn't care about what anyone else thinks, to be honest.
I was nearly going to say, how do you know how much Cook Islander you are, and how do you know how Samoan you are?
Yeah.
Like, is there a number, or is there a figure, or is there a blood
Well,
test?
I know
I'm Brazilian. I'm Brazilian.
You know what I mean? Like, I know. I think my brother's Japanese or Chinese. He's probably French now. Which one, brother? Like, but how do you know what you are?
Yeah.
And I always feel like Polynesians get it because we have big families, but also we're resourceful.
Yeah.
We give back.
It's all part of our. I feel like it's all part of our DNA, man. Like, we just love connecting and we love giving back. You know, you think about like I think about my transition. The one thing that's helped me like be the person I am today is that I like giving back, but I like connecting as well. You know, so I think that helps in a way as well. Like, learning how to connect, but also learning how to give back. I'm the same, man. I'm like you. I run a charity as well, and we go into schools and deliver programs around Southeast Queensland. Yeah, we may get assistance from governments, but at the same time, we get good backers to come on board to donate to the foundation on a term-by-term basis to help us fund our programs in schools. But like, it's like, and that's pretty much my full-time job at the same time. So like, but there's other passions as well that I like doing, and that'll be like yourself. You know, you're giving back, you're creating opportunities for other people to go out and you know, make a living for themselves. So like, I admire that.
Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome. You know what I mean?
I don't know, like, happy to support your charity as well. So,
right, bro, let's go. AIM Foundation, let's do
it. So I'm happy to support that.
Yeah.
But I suppose for us as a business, like, we're always trying to grow, and we're trying to chase down more work than anyone else. We're trying to chase down the barriers and do everything that everyone told us not to do. But like it comes to a point where people go, and it's quite sad to say this, but people go, why Anthony and Saia? Who's supporting you?
Yeah.
Who's giving you the money? And I'm like, well, we saved our money.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, what, they don't think that we can save, or, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy, eh?
I just hate that. I hate that when people guess, what'd you get your money from? I guess, bro, it's none of your business.
Because I reckon, do you reckon it's rip the Band-Aid off, but do you reckon this is a Polynesian Indigenous thing that they look at
I think
us?
it is, man. I think
like
we do live in that society where, like, you know, the tall poppy syndrome, and people like get jealous of like what other people are doing, man. I admire like people going out and creating a business, leveraging off what you've done in your time of being a sports athlete. Like, people shouldn't be asking questions. They should be supporting.
Yeah. And it's the world we live in at the moment.
I know.
You know what I mean? But seeing what you're doing at the moment with your brother and others now, like you're helping, you know, guys have that opportunity to work, man. Like
We have, yeah. And like, just to go back on helping people, like we have nearly over 300 employees.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's guns.
Like,
yeah.
And we want to grow, but the only thing is, like, it's me and Anthony. We own 100% of our business.
Yep.
That's mad.
You know, like we have, you know, Imogen Geddes, who is our CEO.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Bulldog. And people say, you know, like we employ, or we trying to live it as a family values. But when we first started, we wanted to have this family ethos.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make sure that everyone was included. But then we understood that if you're not pulling your weight, you got to go.
Yeah.
We can't micromanage people that don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And then I got into the realm of, like, when we're playing rugby or sport, if you're not good enough, like, I don't care how much a friend of you are, but you're only as good as your weakest link. You're going to let the team down. And it doesn't really matter around the job title, what you're doing, but you're letting down the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so even if that's myself, my twin brother, whatever, like, we still need to make them hard decisions.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you made those, like, that sacrifice that you made with you and your brother coming into that business? Did you guys know that you guys wanted to get in this industry? Was it something that you guys were passionate about? Or
No,
did
absolutely
you just,
not.
No.
Absolutely not. Like, so we got into, my brother was working as a insurance broker.
Yep.
And then I moved back from overseas, from London, playing rugby, and we started a labour hire business. That was it.
True.
And we got an opportunity through a company and said, hey, we need some traffic controllers. We started with 1 unit.
Wow.
And that's it. And then it obviously, you know, John Holland, the Gold Coast Light Rail, the stage here, it has just, but also, like, it's transactional.
Yeah.
Like, you have to go out, see the client, get an invoice, like, it's day to day.
Yeah.
You know, so we can actually track how we're going.
Yeah.
Where it's not, you know, we're not seeing invoices come and get paid 30 days.
Yeah.
So we could actually help our clients or our employees as well.
Yeah.
And so for us, like, when we first got that contract to be a traffic controller and do all this, we had to learn. And we had to learn about, you know, what is a TGS? What is, you know, a traffic management scheme? Like, how do we work? How do we navigate the traffic world?
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, what we did with sport, you work hard, you be diligent, you research, you understand the script, you understand what you're going to do for the game plan, so that everyone's on board.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that hard then. And people will go, well, the only thing that both Anthony and I come from is the school of hard knocks, where the same as you guys is that, guess what, we might not be in here for 20 years, but I can see all the bad shit and the good stuff that happens.
Yeah.
And you can tell me all the bad stuff, you can tell me all the good people, whatever, but it's up to us. We make the decisions, and I don't really care.
Yeah.
If someone's good and you tell me their shit, I don't really care. I will get their face value from myself.
Yeah.
That's mad.
That's good.
And so that's what we've kind of made sure that we've had our our kind of ethos, because when you go into preseason, what happens? Everyone comes into preseason knowing that he's come from a shit team. He's getting paid too much, or
They judge it before you even get there.
Yeah, he's unworthy, or he's done bad stuff.
Yeah.
So you already come in pre-judgment.
Yeah.
But you don't realise how hard they work, the nutrition, 7 days a week. Okay, sweet. Well, where was that on the script?
Yeah.
So why can't we, in a new business world, go, we don't care what you guys think. You guys have come from traffic. We haven't come from traffic. We come from the school of hard knocks, but all we can do is provide, I suppose, our reputation or our guidance going, we know people.
Yeah.
Because in rugby, thank God, you got fat people, e.g. me, you got skinny people, you got halfbacks, you got backs, you know. But there's a position for everyone.
That's right.
How do we find that position for you?
Yeah.
It might be not traffic control, it might be accounting. If it's not accounting, it might be a financial advisor. Whatever it is, we'll find a spot for you. But we just need to know.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's how we've kind of structured our business going, making sure that everyone in their right has a position in our business and that you work hard and you do the things that you want to do.
I love that, bro.
Yeah. Do you feel like let's I know we sort of like we like to talk about the upbringing and all that kind of stuff, and leading to the career and then leading to the but we've probably gone the other way, but it's all good. But it's I want to dive into more about like you and your brother like living together as athletes, professional athletes, and then we can probably dive back into like the skill set of how did those skills transition over to your business and that. So let's go back to
So my brother's he's a piece of shit, as in the best way. But he made me the best person I am now. Because every morning, every Wednesday, I know for a fact, he would yell out and say, "Saia, like, are you coming to do recovery? Are you coming to the gym?"
Wow, yeah.
And I would be like, "No," and he goes, "Well, the next Wallabies waiting in line for you, mate."
Oh,
and then slam the door.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
wait in the car. I had the car running. He knew I'd come out. Yeah. And so I'd get up, get changed, go.
So was he the one that always get?
Always.
He was the one that, bro, get the
I always, and I always tell this story. I would go like, this is kind of our life where on Sundays, what do you do on Sundays? And I was like, literally, I'd be hungover. I'd be doing something crazy, whatever.
Yeah.
And he'd be there cold pressing his beetroot juice and for 5 hours, and he'd be doing like all these, I don't know, like making sure he does all his meal preps, and I'd be like, okay, sweet. I'd just go to YouTube's, hey guys, can I get 5 meals for the week? And then go down to the, Woolies or whatever and get a thing of beetroot juice.
Yeah.
So that's how we lived our life, but I don't know, like obviously, I commend Anthony because he put me on the straight and narrow. He made sure that, like there's always structure, there was always things, and that's why he does all the tendering, processing, all the accounts, management, because I can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's you're twins, man. You're like you're one. So like you had Anthony there, like really just nagging you, pushing you. Would you have it any other way?
Absolutely
growing up?
Not.
Probably not, eh? Because you definitely need that. So how was that like transitioning all the way up to playing for the Reds? Because I remember you guys were
Brumbies,
beasts, bro.
Wallabies.
I used to love watching you two.
I know, I remember.
Yeah. I guess who are these two? Who's this guy playing hooker with the freaking dreadlocks?
Bro, he's a beast, eh?
And I used to think, man, is this guy like Chinese or something? What is he, man? Like, but like, and then I seen, that guy looks exactly like him in the centres.
Yeah.
Are they brothers? And brothers, and he goes, that's when like, man,
that would have been special playing with your brother, bro. How 100%. Was that?
Do everything together.
We didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And we made like I talk about, we made sacrifices like to be who we are, but we did, like it was awesome. Like I had my best friend on every tour.
Yeah.
So we'd go on tour.
Were you roomies on tour?
Always.
Yes, guys.
And people always go, like, who's your roommate? I was like, well, Anthony. And if Anthony wasn't there, I had two other roomies that would substitute. So if it was Sokopi Kepu,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Keps.
my boy,
Yeah.
and Celeste Mafu.
Oh, yeah.
And
nice.
I've got a great story about Celeste, but like I don't know if we have time about
Who's time?
when we were in Wallaby camp, and he got a couple club sandwiches that he was supposed to be on a diet, and I got in trouble for it because he's like, "Oh, that was Saia's," and I was like, "Bro, come on, man."
Come on, man.
But then we went and got like 10 things of Pringles and 10 things of freaking 2 liters of
See,
Coke.
if you would have had Anthony there, he wouldn't have done that, bro.
No, don't. But yeah, like we even like Australian 19s, I was captain, he was vice captain.
Wow.
We won a premiership. We went to the Reds. Like, my dad was a big thing about money comes and goes.
Yeah.
Like, our family always stays.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest decisions we ever made was, I think we were about 2000 and... Ant was going to the Reds.
Yeah.
The Brumbies didn't want him. The Brumbies wanted him to obviously stay because of me.
Yeah.
And I was the starting hook for the Brumbies. I obviously wanted to stay in Canberra.
Yeah.
But I heard my twin brother going to the Queensland Reds, him going, say, don't worry about it, man. Like, they don't want me. I'll just go.
Yeah.
Man.
And
that
I was
would have
like,
hurt, man.
yeah. And I was like, no, man, like, this is not going to happen. Not on my watch.
Yeah.
I go, we only played to be together.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are the joys in life if you haven't got your family?
Right,
He's
100%.
so good, man.
So then I called up the coach and just said, hey, I want to come to Brisbane.
Yeah.
I go, I know you've got, at that time, it was Stephen Moore, who was the number one hooker in Australia, who I looked up to, and he was the number one hooker.
Yeah.
So I'd gone from a starting team to be a hooker to literally going there thinking I'm going to be number 2.
Yep.
And I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care about the money.
Just as long as you're with your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I gave the coach a call, and Ant's contract come through, and then my contract come through. And he said to me, he's like, what are you doing, man? Like, you're not coming. I said, no, I'm going.
Wow.
And I took, it wasn't even about the money. It wasn't about anything else. It was just about making sure that, like, I didn't really care about the, I suppose, peripheral stuff. Just cared about him.
Yeah.
And I wanted the best for him.
Yeah.
And, I made that sacrifice. And obviously, going to Queensland at that time, like, it was embarrassing. It was... Like, if you weren't a Broncos fan, like, why are you coming to Brisbane? Like,
Yeah.
Like, you saw the Queensland Reds hat, you were like, who donated that hat to you, mate?
Yeah.
Like,
No way.
it was shocking. And where we'd come from Canberra, where everyone was so proud to wear the Brumbies hat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, true.
you're so privileged. And then we came to Queensland, I was like,
Did you make the right choice?
yeah, like, it was like, I played for the Queensland Reds. Yeah, who are they?
Oh,
Like-
no.
Wow.
And we'd go to restaurants, because in Canberra, everyone knows who you
You
are.
are, yeah.
Fat bloke with dreadlocks, 6'1", like, fat bloke with dreadlocks. Everyone goes, "Oh, hey, say, how you going, brother?"
Yeah.
And then go there, and it's like, "Mate, you're just another order. Get to the back of the line, champ."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was just totally different, and my expectations were totally different. But I got to hang out. We bought a house. Me and my twin brothers, like, we lived our whole time until we had kids. Until I had a kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Until I had my daughter Sienna, like, we'd lived together. Our partners had lived together. We were getting married to live and we were living in the house.
Wow.
Because me and Anthony we were just selfish because we wanted to make sure that we had the best things. So when we finished rugby, that we'd have better things for our family. And I suppose, like, it's crazy now to think about in that way, but you're always on the handouts.
Yeah.
And especially being Polynesian, Aboriginal, you're always giving out handouts. Who gives you a handout?
Yeah.
100%, bro.
Like, I always think, like, we've got a lot of staff, we've got a lot of people that rely on us, but I go, who relies on me? Like, how do I get that back?
Yeah.
Where's that journey for me? And I'm very privileged and really, really honoured around it, but still, it's hard because everyone puts a thing on the cash or the money or outcomes or whatever. Like, I just think about today.
Yeah.
Have you got a job? Yeah. Are you happy? Yep. Then we're doing it. Like, everything should be good.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, I going to a boxing thing at 12:30 today in Brisbane with Dennis Hogan, who professional ex-fighter. Like, I get to hang out with all these cool people.
Yeah.
And do absolutely amazing things, but because of this, like because of how hard we've worked.
Yeah. And rugby's been that vehicle for you to get to where you are today. Yeah.
100%. And I suppose like the vehicle of being on the show today, like doing things like hanging out with you guys or anyone, like it helps your publicity, but it also helps make sure that everyone's vulnerable.
Yeah.
100%.
And I'm very lucky. Me and my twin brother are very lucky, but because we started when we were 17 years old, we didn't start when we were 38.
Yeah. That's the problem.
That's
the problem, man.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah.
My father actually. So when we had got our first contract, I mentioned that.
Yeah.
He actually took all the money.
Yeah.
I think we were 19 years old, and we bought a block of units. So we were trying to buy this block of units.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad actually put, because like I mentioned, my dad gave us a $200 salary or wage per week because everything was paid for. So he's like, why do you need this money?
Yeah.
In the meantime, he'd saved all that money to put up for a deposit for us.
That's amazing.
So we said to him,
that's the goat.
Yeah. And 100%. We went and bought this 4 apartment block.
Yeah.
And we refurbished it and we worked off the barter system, as in, because my dad worked in the pub, but all of our mates was a plumber, carpenter. Mate Tommy Konsunik was a developer, so he done all the contracts, strata, like it was really good with that kind of sense, the council, variations, things like that. So we bought our first property because of my mum and dad guaranteed the house.
That's mad.
And I'm like, what family would guarantee their family house on a 19-year-old kid?
Yeah.
You know, like who are only earning $28,000 or $30,000 at the time.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad just backed us and believed in us so much that that there was no coming back.
Yeah.
And I just think, how would I'd look at now, if my kids are 19 years old, would I put my house up and guarantee them?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. But do you know what I mean?
I feel like you have to though in today's day and age because like the houses are too expensive.
You just got to find ways to make more money.
Yeah, that's it.
I like that.
Yeah, that's you,
So-
buzz.
Yeah. But like the thing, like for us, it was like, how do we make? Yeah, like I didn't ever think that people would put money up. For we made, I think we made 60 grand, which was life changing for our whole family.
Yeah.
But in the scheme of things now, I'm like, it's not really that much money, really.
Yeah, it's not.
And the house prices now, and what mum and dad would ever put their house guarantor for two degenerates that don't have any building expertise, don't know about house prices, haven't got a real estate license, and are literally working off this big barter system where the boys that came in, so the plumbers, all my mates from school, because they were all apprentices, so they didn't give a shit about the money. They cared about, well, we're going to the pub. Every time we go to the pub, we get free drinks because we're hanging out with you and your brother. So that's all they care about. So I'm like, okay, sweet. And they would come every Saturday and Sunday, and help us out and do all the plumbing, do the carpentry, do all, I don't know. I look at now, I'm like, I'm so thankful for that opportunity.
And that's like, bro, like we spoke about being connected. You know, obviously us being approachable. I feel like when people meet Polynesians or Indigenous, it's easier to have a chat with them. Like for me to have a chat with you, it's easy that I can connect because we've got that feel, you know what I mean? And it's good to see that people can come in and, have that first chat with your parents, but your parents are just connecting in a way that, and leveraging off them as well to build a legacy for you and your family. So it's wow, that's mad because bro, like
they've
not
got the
many
skill
parents
already.
do that.
No, they got the skill already.
You know what I mean? Like
They're
they
the
have
hustlers,
the hustlers
straight
right
away.
there, bro. So
The true hustlers.
entrepreneurs
straight away.
right there, man.
Yeah. I tell my mum that every time.
Yeah.
She's so my mum's like our best asset because at the moment I don't know what she does, but her job title is being a counsellor for me and my twin brother, a nanny, and then also, as she always tells me, like just being an absolute amazing person.
Yeah. Is she with you guys up here?
Yeah.
In Brizzy? Nice.
So she moved up.
Yeah.
And absolutely like loves it in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, she's at Helensvale.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, she's like, "Say this weather's too hot," because she's obviously Canberra, and born and bred in Yass, or so just outside of in the country, and her glasses fog up, and I'm like, "Mum," I'm like, "Jeez, come on, settle down." She's like, "Say it's bloody too hot here."
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I think that we're very blessed, all of us boys, to have someone that's the backbone for all of us. She doesn't take the piss. She doesn't. I don't know. Like when you just need to be humbled.
Sure.
She's down.
But also we were there like your best confidant as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think during our whole career and doing what we do,
Yeah.
we need to be humbled, but also need to have the confidence as well.
Yeah.
And even with the business now, it's really good, but it just takes one contract to take that away.
Yeah.
It just, if we don't keep fighting and I suppose progressing in the contract world, getting new contracts, trying to find what's coming up, leads, we're going to be behind everyone else.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're an Indigenous business, Polynesian business, doesn't matter what kind of business we are.
Yeah.
We're going to be redundant.
Yeah.
We're not going to have a job.
Yeah.
Or people are not going to have a job.
Yeah.
And for me, it's about making sure that now we've built a legacy for 300 workers now.
Yeah.
That's nice.
How do I get these workers the next stage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we grow the business?
Yeah.
Because we've been working in the business.
Yeah.
Now we're working on the business. And it's a cliche. Everyone goes, "Oh, you should be working, on it, not in it, whatever." But I go, we've had no guidance. We haven't asked anyone for help.
Yeah.
We're doing it ourselves.
Yeah. Figure it on the way. Learn as you go, bro. Learn as you go.
And it's pretty crazy, but both Anthony and I, like everyone got, and I think you both mentioned it today, like, who else are the owners? Like, who else?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's only me now.
Yeah.
It's only us two at the helm, with our CEO, obviously, but besides both Anthony and I, we have no other
Yeah.
beneficiaries or anything else. And that is scary sometimes when we talk to private equity firms or we talk to people because they're like, well, where did you guys come from? How did you start? And we tell them the story, but it's kind of unbelievable as well that you'd save all your money playing sport.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. See that? Hey, anyone that's listening, any athletes that's listening, listen to this podcast, mate, because start saving now
Save
at the
the
age of 17,
cash.
right? And you don't really hear these kind of stories because the guys, obviously, we have a lot of athletes that do come share their story, and they're pretty much like us. We started pretty late in the business world, but for your parents to make that sacrifice, sorry boys, you guys are only having $200 a week.
100%.
We're keeping the rest, and we're going to build a foundation for then when you guys want to do something, you guys can build your businesses up, and that's how it should be done.
Yeah, it's just it's lessons like learning how to budget. I think that's the most important thing. Like with our people, especially when they go off into that professional realm, like getting so much money, but wow, I've got so much money in the bank account. What do I do with it? But they just love to just go. They either go give it back to their family, which is all good, but at the same time, what is the family doing with the money? Like your parents, they took your money, but they saved it and they gave it back to you as a deposit. Like that's I think that's how you should be doing it.
Yeah. Do you reckon? Because we're talking about that space now. Do you reckon the actual parents, need to be educated in it?
I 100% agree on that. It's funny that you just mentioned what you just said because being Polynesian,
Yeah.
where does your money go if it's not resourced here? So I know that when my father passed away,
Yeah.
so he was oldest. So I inherited all the land in Tonga, had meetings, with the King Prime Minister, and got inherited all this land.
Yeah.
So then all my cousins were like, and my uncles and my aunties were like, okay, well, how do we pay for the land tax? How do we do all this? And I was like, okay, well, I'll pay for it, but what are the consequences? What are you guys going to do?
Yeah.
Instead of getting handed, well, I'm getting calls about electricity. I'm getting calls around food. I'm getting calls. Well, why are you working for? How are you budgeting your money?
Mm.
And so for me, my biggest thing was I understand obviously complexity around not working, but sending home, it's not free money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a toll on, like my dad would never ask me for money if he didn't really need it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And my mum never asked for money if she never really needed it. So then while my cousin's calling up every week about electricity, like, what have they done to make sure that they haven't put themselves in that situation? And so I just feel like it's especially a Polynesian thing, and I don't know, this is only my personal experience around family, that they do take it for granted and they think that you are earning all this good money and that, $300, $500 is really not that much.
It adds up.
Yeah, that's all.
Bro, it adds up, bro.
Yeah.
Get the phone calls, man.
So you get the phone calls as well. And
I'm all for it. I'm all for giving back, and I was one of those ones that had to give back to my mum and dad a lot as a young kid, but at the same time, it got to a point where I had to say, man, it's got to stop.
Yeah.
I've got my own family now. Got to worry about what caring for myself and my own family. Pay my own bills and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was probably one of the toughest conversations that I ever had with my mum and my old man. Just say, it's got to stop.
Yeah.
But because like you said, where was it going? And most of the time it was, like you said, it was always they needed it. It was always paying bills, it was always paying for rent, it was paying for things. You go, man, I can't be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you do feel a bit sad at the same time. And you do love your family, and you got a good heart to just always give back. And that's what it's and that's our culture. And it's still happening. It's still happening. They have to.
That's why I feel
it's part of the DNA, bro.
But I think that's why education's key, man.
Yeah,
understanding
100%.
it's financial literacy, understanding.
Well, wouldn't you like to think that when we get older and your kids get older, you've educated your kids to learn how to budget, save, and you've probably got money there waiting for them when they get old enough, when they're old enough to look after money.
That's that's an example.
That's an
of
example right here.
You know what I mean? And this is a great chat because we haven't had this. You know what I mean? And seeing you come out of what you've been through, it's amazing to see what you and your brother's doing, man. So that's proud Polly right now, bro.
yeah, well,
100%.
the thing is, if you didn't pay the money, what would happen?
I'd feel bad.
No, but if it wasn't for you, but how would your family, would the bills still get paid? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's another question. Probably, I felt like it was a bit of forced at the time. I said, nah, man, I got to do it. Hand out.
Because I know that if we didn't go to the school that we went to, if I didn't have Todd Carney's mum and dad pick us up to go and play rugby league with his mum and dad, if they didn't sacrifice a lot of things that they did, I wouldn't be in the position I would be, but I also wouldn't have the financial literacy, money concerns, and I'd probably be a security guard or a Polynesian security guard in Queanbeyan still.
Like all of us.
Yeah, but and that's the reality.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think sport's been really good to generate that wealth, but it's only
Short
10,
period of
10
time.
years, 3 years, 1 year, whatever it is. So when's the buck stop?
Mm.
And that's what scares me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because these kids now, especially young, they're on $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, buy a brand new car, buy a TV, do all these things.
Mm.
But how do they know in 5 years' time where they're going to be?
100%, bro.
What's interest rates going to go up? What's home loans? Have you purchased there? Have you got any assets?
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still renting, but I haven't got a house, or
Yeah.
you know, I'm paying my mum and dad X amount of money. That's what worries me.
Yeah.
And I feel like if, like, the school system, I actually had a conversation with a guy. His name's Michael Dempsey. He used to own Easy Debit.
Yeah.
So, and he talked to me about his daughter going to the school around not having social media, not having any kind of phones, whatever. But they're also teaching their kids around the life skills, so economics, around reading P&Ls, reading spreadsheets, reading day-to-day business. Like, so what you're, instead of worrying about English or maths or whatever, they're actually showing them, okay, well, mathematics, okay, why do you need to learn this? Because you need to read a P&L show to understand, okay, well, you've lost this amount of money this day, what has changed? You know, have we had a spike in commercials, whatever, but learning about when you leave school
Yeah.
Yeah.
instead of just learning about today.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really amazing, because at school, I didn't want to be at school. And now I'm like, I kind of love being educated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what has changed? Because I want to learn the things I want to learn about,
Yeah.
which is day-to-day stuff.
I love that, bro.
Yeah.
I love that, bro, because that's important, man. I feel like, not bagging schools and that, but that's probably one of the reasons why I'm pulling my daughter out of school, is just I want her to understand life skills. Whereas school, you know, you obviously go to school and you do your subjects and like what you said. But I think life skills are so important,
100%.
especially this day and age. I feel like our kids are going to have it harder than what we had it.
100%.
100%.
Just learning how to, and I always go back to my foundation. That's what we deliver. We deliver programs around life skill building, and that's it. It's simple, because our kids don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to be honest. They don't know how to be respectful. You know, all those things. You know, if you learn those 3 traits, oh man, you're a good person. But I find it hard to find kids that are getting taught that. Respect goes a long way. Goes a long way, respect. Being honest, having that, being honest to, you know, who you are and other people, just in general. You know, you still have kids that are, you know, they've got to learn the art of being honest and learning how to communicate and talk to people as well. But unfortunately, we still get our kids, you know, our teachers out there, they go in, they put up a PowerPoint. All right, we're learning maths today. Like, you've lost the kids already, bro. All right.
Yeah.
All right, open up a book. We're going to read this. Like, can we do something? Can we do something like engaging? And I feel like that's, there are some good teachers out there in the school system, but they still stick to the stock standard curriculum activities on a daily basis.
Out of all that, I was going to say, how hard is it to say please and thank you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How hard is it to be respectful? Like, how hard is it to go, you know, I actually appreciate what you said.
How annoying is it, like, when you walk past a bunch of kids today and you just hear about 10 million, like, F words, like, you know, and I go, man, like, if I don't pull these kids up, who's going to pull them up? You know? That's what I don't get in today's, like, society, is that, like, you've got to respect the people that are around at the same time. Like, just a simple, you know, when I go for a run, hey, mate, how you going? Good morning. People don't even reply back. And I go, bro, where's the respect? You know what I mean? Like,
That's so true,
what's
yeah.
what, like, you know, and then when you're walking past a bunch of school kids and they're like chucking out the F-bombs left, right, and centre, I go, hey, language, man. Like, you know, and like,
I definitely swear too much, so I apologise for that.
yeah.
But also, like, there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
But also, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Like, I think
But like it's who's teaching? Like how are our kids being like that? Because you know
It's the world we live in at the
that's the
moment.
world we live in, and like
I actually got, you talk about respect. Like opening it, I opened a door for a lady a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can open the door myself.
Yeah. But you've been brought up like that.
Yeah. Like, please and thank you.
Yeah.
Like, there's, like, what's the cost of saying thank you very much,
Yeah.
please, and, like you're grateful for it?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It costs you nothing. Like, there's only, like, one thing in life that doesn't cost you anything is manners.
Yeah.
And that was my mum and dad and my grandmother, God bless her soul.
Yeah.
She always said, like, there's nothing in life that costs you anything
Yeah.
except your manners.
Mm.
Because all you have to do is say, please, thank you, open door. Like, what is it taken out of your life?
Yeah.
And I suppose that comes around resilience, that
Yeah.
comes around everything else that we've done. But also, like, it's not hard. And I do get really pissed off around, especially young kids now, generational. Like, there's 10, 12-year-old kids committing suicide because of social media.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And I'm like,
So
what am I doing? Like, how can I help? But
Yeah.
then I also think about the respect. I'm like, geez, like, why do I not have social media? Why do I not have, like Snapchat or TikTok? Because these young kids are just getting bullied, and like, I don't know, like it's a total different industry.
Yeah.
And I suppose the only thing now that I can relate to is because we have so many staff, everyone's like everyone can be seen.
Yeah.
There's no hiding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like your LinkedIn, your profiles, like, so we can see everyone.
Yeah.
And I feel like a little bit embarrassed because I'm like, it's intrusive.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, but then I feel like a coach where, you have to know what your players are doing. You need to know, are they doing the right job? Are they playing up? What's happening?
Yeah.
Because, some of our employees are not also the best ones either. But how do we manage them?
Yeah. 100%.
And I don't know, like that respect thing respect's not, it's not hard to earn. It's just thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Or even just, sorry I'm busy, but appreciate it. Like it's not hard to be nice.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people take that for granted.
Yeah. 100%, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so it's the Moonya Workforce, right?
Yeah.
Where do you see you guys in the next few years? What's the goal for you guys?
That's a good question. We don't know. So we'll have, so potentially maybe into mining.
Yeah.
We've got a couple other industries that we want to go into, hydration, potentially even chewing gum, things like that.
Oh, nice.
But we want to be over 10,000 employees.
Yeah.
By the Olympics. We want to make sure we want to essentially kind of purchase or acquire some other companies as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we want to grow. But it's just there's nothing stopping us. So I don't know how to answer that question, but the thing is, both Anthony and I have really good aspirations to grow it somewhere or somehow.
Yeah.
We just need the right people with us.
Yeah.
100%. So need employees?
Let's go.
No more Polynesians.
No, I'm Brazilian.
I think like, and I'm
How
so.
many? Okay, out of the 300, how many polys you have? Polynesians.
We have heaps, man. Too many. Not enough, actually. No, because everyone goes, don't employ your family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if I only employ my family, at least I can call them up and go, hey, you were on the piss last night. Why are you calling up sick today? And I'm like, get to work, champ. Fucking get to work.
That's
and
mad.
so, like, I always, like, so I like employing family.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, oh, it's a bad idea. Like, we have more headaches. Yeah, they're sometimes not also the best employees, but at least you can call them out without getting a HR or a liability going, like, you're a fuckhead, so sometimes maybe just show. And I'm like, bro, come to work.
Yeah.
And then you won't have my call.
Yeah.
So
That's mad.
we employ all, essentially all of our family.
Yeah.
That is the reason why, is because they're accountable. You know, you can give them literally a conversation and go, get to work.
Yeah.
Like my biggest, probably worst asset is my twin brother. Like, he calls me up every day going, are you coming into work today? I'm like, bro, have you seen my schedule? Like, I'm at the Gold Coast or I'm at somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all good.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need a teacher. But
Yeah.
the thing is that we always make sure that we're
Accountable, eh?
yeah, and we always do. We have a furniture company called Magi, and we do melamine, acoustic paneling.
Yeah.
We also do any kind of day-to-day desks, office materials, and I sell that like all the time.
Yeah.
And the thing is it's interesting, like it's intriguing. So I like getting out there and doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my brother's like, oh mate, what's the numbers at? You know, where are we sitting at this database? And I'm like, Anthony, just chill out, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'll sort it out. Like, you know, like it's just like,
He's on you, eh?
Don't see it, man. Like the rugby league, rugby union career, not the rugby league. Yeah, see, bro, see. He's like, yeah, man. He's keeping you on your toes, man. And that's how it should be, eh?
yeah. But the thing is, like, we love it. Like, that's how we've grown our business so quickly, because you haven't got someone to keep you accountable. You, like, for me personally, or definitely for me, is that I just thought I was killing it.
Yeah.
And I know I wasn't. Like, I didn't know how to run, my BAS. I didn't know how to do my tax or the liabilities I had. So to have someone like him is always keeping me in check and to make sure that things are done properly.
Yeah.
Because I imagine, we've got unions now, we've got representatives, we've got organisations that rely on us to provide them with information.
Yeah.
If we employ so many people now that we can't rely on the good favour or the goodwill or that kind of stuff. If you don't know it, get the best person to do it. Let them do it.
100%.
Get the best accountant. Get the best financial advisors. You guys do it.
Yeah.
Let you advise me. That's what I'm paying you for.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I'm good at supervising, but I'm not going to advise you around accounting.
Yeah.
And I always say to our team, I go, like, when I start micromanaging you've lost your job. You might as well quit.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, if you start micromanaging your team, then their job's redundant. Like, you're doing their job as well.
Yeah, you need to delegate those tasks because, man, it'll be too much pressure. All the overheads in it. Well, it's mad, man. I'm inspired by your story, bro, because
me too, man.
I know a lot of people resonate with what you're doing, and even guys now that are probably starting early in that, being an athlete and then looking at, because right now you need a plan B, C, D, man. Like I always harp on that about having a backup plan.
That word that we always harp on, leverage. Got to leverage, man. Got to leverage on the professional career like you have, and then
the transitioning
into business. And it's all transferable when you think about it.
Yeah.
We all have leadership qualities to like go out there and like tell people, what to do and all that. But at the same time, it's like having those tough ones, like you said, like having those people say to you, don't employ your family, but you like it and it works.
Yeah. Doesn't
always work for everyone, but it works for you, because you can have the tough conversations. You can tell your family, come on, get up, go to work. No handouts here, no free rides here, man. You're gonna have to. You want to, if you want to climb this ladder, you're gonna have to work hard.
Yeah. And when you look at you and your brother, man, it's like looking at obviously the way you're talking about your business. You both balance each other out. So he's obviously the hard one, but you're the one that keeps him insane. Like, hey, bro, it's all right, relax, bro. You can chill here.
100%, yes.
So it's mad. You both balance each other.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you got that.
So it's so good, but I love that, man.
It's funny because he'll always come to meetings in suit and tie.
Yeah.
And like, I'm here in a pink shirt.
Let's go.
He'd be rolling in like today. He'd be rolling in a suit and tie. And I'm like, bro, just give up the tie then.
Loosen up, mate.
Yeah.
Loosen up.
But, I think what you just mentioned about leverage around young kids, like we're so privileged to be in the position where we are.
Yeah.
We worked hard. Guys are not going to say like, especially if they're famous or whatever, like, they're not going to say, don't use me, don't give me a number, like, don't give me a call. You know, leverage the people around you or other socialites that are in your world. Like,
100%, bro.
You know, I'm good friends with Willie Mason. I'm good friends with Willie Tonga. I'm like good friends with all these rugby league players because of the sport, but because they help me.
Yeah.
So leverage the people that you know and to make sure that your business grows and help them because they'll need a favour. So it was even today, like, you know, giving you a call last week going, man, when am I coming on the podcast, you know, and leveraging the avenues that we have.
100%.
You know, it's different codes, but we're still in the same thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we don't leverage, and guys that are, especially Polynesians, we feel shame, we feel embarrassed, we feel like we're unworthy to reach out. Like, brother, give me a call. I don't like we talked about Dan Con, like amazing person. Like I don't care what you do. Like we just do your job. Like we're gonna all get paid. Like isn't that what we want to do? We've all got families. We all just leverage our connections.
100%.
And that's my biggest thing is like I want to make sure that we're accessible. But we're also like people understand that we're not anything different to anyone else. Like, we've come from the school of hard knocks. We want to make sure that you guys understand that we're here for you. That's it.
That's awesome.
Not here to bully anyone, not here to talk down or, you know, if anything, my twin brother always calls me his hype man because like I'm only there to hype him up. You know? And everyone needs a hype man, but we're there to support each other. And
I'm Eddie's hype man.
Sorry?
I'm Eddie's hype man.
But like, to be honest, like we're all here to make a living. Like we're not here to put people down. And I don't surround myself with people that are going to shoot me down or, or, you know, do the, you know, I'm better than you. Like, okay, sweet. I can talk shit as well, but you know, if you're not pumping up people, then what are you doing?
100%.
And so I don't know. We've had a lifelong career and a business, successful business now, where we give everyone like hand ups and not hand downs.
I love that, bro.
Can just want to ask one question. Are you doing anything to help out, like with Rugby Union up at Brizzy, or are you involved with anything up those ways? With
so myself and Anthony have stepped away from rugby. There's one main reason, I guess, is because we couldn't give 100% of our dedication to doing it.
Yeah, true.
And for an example, line-out throwing. So I spent 200 balls every morning just trying to craft that up. How am I going to give them half an hour of my time once a week to make sure that he's throwing the best ball? And if I can't dedicate 3 hours coaching, whatever, to rugby, how am I going to give back? And the only way I can give back is, so we've got a couple of the Reds players coming in. So Saia Fainga'a.Born, doing some work. So he's actually been working for us while he's got his time off with the Reds.
Oh, nice.
So we've had guys come in, do not so much apprenticeships, but just,
work experience.
Just come in. Hey, this is what we do. So I've showed them from management to day-to-day stuff.
That's
so
right.
doing that way, because there is going to be a change in their life, but not so much on the rugby field, and that's been I suppose purposely done because we haven't really wanted to. If we can't give 100%, then we can't do it.
Bro, you're adding value to them anyway.
Exactly.
So you, like you said, you bring guys in, get a feel what works like, because you're not going to play footy forever. You either maybe take this role or it might be something else that you want to pursue. But man, like you guys are adding value already to the people, man. And 100%. It's amazing to see, bro. I'm really inspired by your story, man. It's so good, man.
Like it's like if you don't have to, like time is definitely money, and like at the same time, like if you can't, as much as you love the game, like we all do,
you're invested.
Because man, like it's hard to find that time to just give back and go out and do like a clinic with a couple of boys in that, because like man, where am I going to find the time to spend with my own kids and all that, And that's the hardest thing, when you. I haven't been involved in the game for probably about a year now, and like, but I feel like my purpose is, and our purpose is just doing stuff like this, trying to give back to the community and go out and do like clinic, programs and all that. So,
well, that was my biggest issue, is just about, like, if I didn't have the time, how am I going to spend time with my kids?
yeah,
How am I going to spend time with my wife or my family?
Yeah.
Like, I'm already time poor already.
yeah,
We're getting dragged into every meeting, Saturdays, Sundays, and you have to do socialite stuff. You have to, like, where does work come in? Where does family life? Where does being a present father? And I know now, after 2, 3, 4 years in this business life, like, I've sacrificed so much
Yeah.
in my family, where I've lost a lot
Yeah.
purely because I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
You come home at 6 o'clock at night, and then I'm on the phone for another 2 or 3 hours.
yeah,
Yeah.
Or then you're up on the phone at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. There's no which way around it. Like, you've got to be on the phone. You're sorting out problems. But what about your own problem?
Yeah. That's it.
And I suppose it's all well and good. Like, I talk about all the nice stuff, but the sacrifices, the losses I've had, family things, I haven't been present. I haven't been there. And I have lost a lot because of work.
Yeah.
And, there's always been too much on my plate.
Yeah.
And that's probably the unspoken thing.
Yeah.
As much as you think all this is really great and we have all these employees and we're doing all these great things, but the sacrifices, definitely outweigh not the consequences that have happened.
Yeah.
And if I could have my time back, I'd rather have my family than have the consequences of business, because I've lost so much.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
yeah, it does.
Because the early calls, the late night calls, the late meetings, the Saturday or the Sunday call-ups, it just never stops.
Yeah.
And you always put things before, I put the cart before the horse every time. And then I work backwards from there.
Yeah,
And it's scary.
Yeah.
And all I want to make sure is that everyone that watches this and understands is that, being a professional athlete is absolutely amazing. Being a business owner is awesome, but it comes with challenges.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was going to say is that, like, the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah.
And it's not because you're lucky; it's because the hard work you put in.
Yeah.
And if you don't put it in yourself, no one else is going to do it for you.
100%.
So, my biggest thing was just, I'm lucky that I have a twin brother that does the other side, and we're the union. But also, we sacrifice a lot of things to be where we are. And it's tough to say some things, but losing families, losing kids for periods of time, or not being able to see them because you're away 9 months because you're playing in England. Like, no one hears about that.
Yeah.
No one hears about the sacrifices that you guys have made when you're playing professional rugby. It doesn't matter if you're travelling to Perth or you're travelling to, okay, well, what are the boys doing?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like that kind of gets swept under the mat.
Yeah.
yeah,
Everyone just looks at the
good things.
the good things and what you've done.
Sees, and
Yeah.
everyone just sees everything online
Yeah.
and just, we're happy to help.
Yeah.
Oh, how good's that? Oh, the boys, that's that guy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't understand that I've been away for 9 months
Yeah.
in England and I haven't seen my kids.
Yeah.
I haven't seen my wife. Like, I haven't seen at that stage, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's what hurts me.
Yeah.
And I suppose I am grateful now that I get to reflect and go, okay, well, they are huge sacrifices,
Yeah.
but the consequence of that is that I kind of learned, but I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
And if that was only because of money, and that's what scares me, is because I only done it for money,
Yeah.
and I never thought about the outcomes. I never thought about what was going to happen after.
Yeah.
I just thought, rugby was my whole life. And so, like, for me now with work and, like, even working now, like, I thought that was the same as rugby, because I would get up in the morning and think, okay, well, I haven't got a stretch, haven't got gym. Okay, so I'll just go to work.
Yeah.
So literally wake up, have a shower, go straight to work,
Yeah.
and be in there at 6 o'clock. And I didn't know when time was supposed to go off, like to go home. So we'd work till 10 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. And to me and Ant were like, what's Anzac Day?
Yeah.
Because we still train. You guys know, like,
Yeah.
you don't have days off. Like, you have 2 weeks after spring tour, you have a week after the finals, but you don't have days off. Like, what's this public holiday thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, what's this RDO day? You know what I mean? So for me, it was like, me and Anthony were always like, well, we work 24/7, so we're going to bring that, we're going to bring that same mentality into our business life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was no stopping. Like that was and that was probably our demise as well. Like because there was no off.
Yeah.
Days.
There's no off days.
Yeah.
There's no off days, and the employees going, come on, man, these guys have days off?
Yeah.
Where's the
I know.
RDOs?
Do you know what I mean? Like, but you think about
Where's
it.
the public holidays?
You come from being a professional athlete every day. You go to the
true.
shops, you're getting recognised. You go everywhere, you get. So if you're not training, you're still, you know, you have to conduct yourself in the best manner.
100%.
So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, I'm doing the same shit, except I got employees and that I've got to run a business. So, okay, well, I'm doing it from 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. How do we do it more efficiently?
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's awesome, bro. Bro, these are the stories that needs to be out there, man. So it's so
Definitely
good.
a lot of key messages in that,
100%.
especially that last, like what you just said there, man. That was so powerful.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Hey, we're grateful to have you here, man, and share
So
your
grateful.
story, man. Like this is, like I said before, a lot of people are going to resonate with what you're doing, and a lot of tips there, man. So
Yeah, heaps
keep
of
an
tips
eye
there.
out. Probably one more. Will be. I know you've already just shared it. Nah, that was a key message, eh?
Yeah, there's
We'll
heaps
leave it
of-
as a key message, bro.
Heaps of key messages there, bro.
Nah, but I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for coming out and having a chat. And
Off to the boxing match now.
Yeah,
there's a fight, eh? 30th November.
30th November.
Let's
yeah.
go. Come on.
And then
Where are you watching it on?
I think it's on KO.
Ooh, KO.
But
KO, guys,
if I
30th of
no,
November.
but if we get knocked out, don't just. No, jokes, jokes.
Nah, you'd be sweet,
Now
man.
you'll be sweet, bro. We're back here, mate.
No,
We're back here,
so I
mate.
got my twin brother in the corner, and he was like, "Bro, if you get knocked out," he goes, "I'm not grabbing you."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I'm not grabbing you, man. I'll be so embarrassed. I'll see you back at the hotel."
Heads up.
I was like, started crying. I was like, "Oh, thanks, man. Like, thanks for having my back." He goes, "Yeah, I'm not." He goes, "I don't have your back. Like, I'm not walking on." So yeah,
you
just
gotta-
to give you some meaning. Yeah.
He's going to win.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. But thanks. I suppose for me, I really appreciate you guys having me. But like, yeah, please support breast cancer, mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. mate.
But also, yeah, if you guys, anyone needs anything or wants to reach out, please,
Appreciate it, man.
yeah, reach out, because I know, especially being a professional athlete, around that mental health space, and people need help.
I think it's important
Love it.
that you're offering that too, bro.
Yeah.
Close us out.
Close it.
Yeah, just want to say thank you to our supporters. Obviously, the CMBT, they've just jumped on board recently, and obviously SMSF Learning Centre. Some good news about SMSF Learning Centre. They're the one of the official sponsors of the Tour Samoa. Yeah, the boys. Let's go. But yeah, we need to get our subscribers up. So like, share, subscribe, and also send a comment if you want about how we can change this podcast. Maybe even flick our voice a comment or a message.
Questions, yeah.
Questions. But yeah, peace out. Easy does it. Let's
Easy
go.
does it. Let's go.